Where 1/3 of all species are extinct, my grandchildren may no longer hear crickets in a summer night, but might be faced with new diseases carried across continents by invasive mosquitoes. With such prospects, it is only natural that people, and specifically young people, are utterly upset. And of course they demand change, because it is not too late to shape a different future for them. It's not going to be easy, but we all know what it takes. We have to follow the pioneers of new technologies and nature-based solutions. We have to invest decisively in human ingenuity, and we need to let go of the old and explore the new. And I think this is the most challenging part. We all know change can be so scary. It takes an effort to leave our old habits behind. It takes courage to sail into uncharted water. And we made sure that Europe moves forward and not backwards. And today, we are producing more electricity from wind and sun than from all fossil fuels combined. The era of Russian fossil fuels dominance in Europe is over for good. And all of this was possible because an entire continent has come together towards a common goal. We did not just change our policies, we changed our mindset. And in the years ahead, we will need to achieve a similar transformation well beyond the energy sector. We need a fundamental rethink of the relationship between our economy and the natural world. But right now, we have to acknowledge that we still have not mastered that the combined effect of climate change and nature degradation is having devastating impacts. Farmers' yields are falling due to the soil degradation and the lack of insects. Fishing nets remain empty because fertilizers from the fields suffocate life in water. Hydro and nuclear plants are going offline because of droughts. Trade along our waterways is disrupted because of rivers running dry. So there's a clear economic case for preserving and restoring nature, an economic case. Thing to happen. Nature is starting to feature in our companies' business plans. Let me give you the example of a Dutch insurance company, for instance, that is offering discounts to customers who install green roofs. Why that? Because it will make the house and the whole neighborhood safer. It will drain excessive rainfall and improve the lifespan of the roof. So it's not only good for birds and bees, but also to reduce future costs for the insurance company. And this shows that a different approach is possible. A different approach towards an economy that encourages people to serve nature so that nature can continue serving us. But to make this new kind of economy grow and prosper, we need our policies to play along. In the last 5 years, the European Union has cast our climate goals into law. This was extremely important because now 27 member states have signed up to reach the climate laws by 2030 and the climate neutrality by 2050. Now we have to implement that. And while we implement that, we must also incentivize those who are willing to go the extra mile. So on top of rules, we need rewards. Because and therefore, we have called for a roundtable, a strategic dialogue with farmers, the Farmers Association in Europe, Copa-Cogeca, but also the young farmers, the organic farmers, environmental groups like BirdLife and Greenpeace, the food industry, the whole value chain, consumers associations, fertilizers, seeds, the financial sector, science, so all stakeholders. And we called it the Strategic Dialogue on the Future of Agriculture in Europe. And it showed that we have so much common ground, much more than anyone thought. We agree on the need to reach our climate goals. What we have discussed is how we get there. And it was fascinating to see the different views and ideas how to be successful in reaching our climate goals. It's nature. And we know that this can be done with an efficient system of rewards and incentives. Because only if farmers can live off their land will they invest in more sustainable practices. And only if we achieve our climate and environmental goals together will farmers be able to continue making a living. New financial tools to compensate farmers for the extra costs of sustainability and compensate them for taking care of the soil, the land, the water, and the air. It is time to reward those who serve our planet. It is time to reward those who serve our planet. And this leads me to my second point on nature credits. Take a water company for which the health of a spring is a vital asset. Or take a fruit company that relies on the essential work of pollinators. They could use nature credits to reward local communities and farmers who provide ecosystem services. So we can create a market for restoring our planet. I know it sounds almost too good to be true. But we know that with the right standards, it can be done because we did it before. Here in Europe, We already have an incredibly effective market for carbon. It has been working for almost 20 years now. And the principle is very simple. It says, you want to pollute? Well, you pay. You want to avoid the payment? Well, you innovate. And it worked. In this time, greenhouse gas emissions have fallen by almost 50% while the economy grew. And at the same time, the price that we put on carbon raised 180 billion euros that are reinvested in climate projects and innovation. And the same could apply to nature credits. We need to channel vital resources towards all those who are providing ecosystem services. Work is already ongoing in the United Nations and in the European Commission to define a global standard for nature credits, because these have to be true nature credits and no greenwashing. Nature credits, because these have to be true nature credits and no greenwashing. And this is an essential first step to scale up this rising market. And we're working intensively with our member states to develop the first pilot projects to support this process. We want decarbonization and nature protection to be a source of growth and innovation, a circular, a competitive economy that gives back to nature more than it takes away from it. That must be the goal. But in my grandchildren's lifetime, this balance can be restored to allow nature to recover. I think this is the story of humanity. After every crisis, a recovery is possible. It is not for granted, but it is possible. With the spirit of innovators and problem solvers, it can be done. And we should always keep in mind that the children of today would never forgive us if we would not rise to the challenge. So let's do it. Long live Europe. Thank you very much.